Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in to A Love for Artistry. I'm Ashley. Today, I'm going to be doing more of a natural makeup application um, with a little bit of color. I also have my first question, and that's how to kind of diminish the sight of bags and being tired underneath the eye area. So I'm going to do a little bit of concealing, but you usually want to use a good eye serum, which I use Time in a Bottle by Philosophy, and it's the 100% in control. It has so much in it, liposome complex that helps with your DNA damage. Your skin is actually damaged way underneath, about 5, 6 layers down. So it needs to be able to penetrate and get really, really into the skin. So I use that for eye. It does everything from puffiness, discoloration, dark spots, dark circles, fine lines, wrinkles, all of it. So we'll see if you purchase that, then you actually will start seeing results 3 days in. And I also do the face serum as well, which is really, really awesome. So I'm going to start with the face, and then I'm actually going to do hair. So I'm going to do what I can, sis, for the concealing of the under eye area, but I'm going to do concealing as much as I can for you. And I'm just taking, I'm using the Anti-Aging Urban Decay eyelid primer. So we start by putting that on the whole eyelid. In my previous video, I showed you I like to do the eyebrows first just to get them on, and then the eyeshadow. And then I'm going to do the face primer, which I'm using La Base Pro from Lancome, one of my favorites. You could use a brush to apply your primers, or you can use your fingers. On clients, I usually use, what is it? A brush. But on my face, I like to kind of warm it up a bit. Okay. So let's start with the eyebrows. You just take an angled brush. I'm actually going to clean it. I really like the Japanese, can you see? Japanese makeup brush cleaner. It works awesome. So you just spray it on the brush, and then I always keep a towel with me just to get it nice and clean. You definitely want to clean your brushes at least once a month with a shampoo of some sort. I like to use, you take 1 cup of warm water, 1 tablespoon of Dawn dish soap, and 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and it actually together helps to break up all the oils in the makeup and debris and all that kind of stuff, so it works really well. My lips are a little bruised today from my candy lips. If you miss 1 day of doing it, you end up getting a little bruised. So I need to be on top of it regularly, or else I'm just going to continue bruising, and I don't want that. So I'm just kind of filling in. Might be a little hard to see because of the lighting, but I will try my best to show you. Hopefully one of these days I can get the microblading, so it didn't have to take me so long to get ready, because my eyebrows are like not there. So I'm hoping I can get that done so that all I have to do is kind of swipe in a few, and then I'm good to go. And once again, I'm using the Anastasia Pomade eyebrow in taupe. You could see today my roots. So that it's a little, my roots are a little ashy, which work out pretty well. with this color. I really like this color for Anastasia for blondes. Even though I am platinum or getting platinum, it still looks better than the blonde. The blonde is really, really light and more of a warmer tone, so it depends on what your natural eyebrow color is, because you also want to go with the coloring of your eyebrow hair, not your hair, because if you go too light, you'll totally see the pigment through your eyebrows, and then it just doesn't look natural. I'm just slowly filling them in. This is, like I said, takes me the longest to get ready for the day, because I kind of have to make my own drawings of my eyebrows. And me being a perfectionist, I have to make sure they look the right and they are even. I've also never done eyelash extensions. Those kind of make me a little nervous, only because I don't want to lose my eyelashes. I like my eyelashes. I actually have some when I put mascara on them. But for the most part, I don't think I would. I'm not sure if I could actually do it. Glue something that close to my eyeball. And then I just take a spoolie, kind of just brush through the top, kind of to make it softened. It's all about placement to see where you can get good coloring. And you could kind of like figure out where you want the, like if you don't have hair, which I don't have hair on this one right here, you can kind of like make it, and then you just take your concealer and like shape it later so that they're even. My eyebrows are definitely not close to being the same, but it's okay. I manage. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of concealer on my concealer brush. And then you just kind of, once again, form your eyebrows. Now there's no rule of thumb. If you guys really want to do eyebrows after foundation, especially if you have good eyebrows and you don't really need to do much but like fill them in with powder or just like a, what is it called? Like a gel, a brush-in gel, you're more than welcome to do that after you've done. I just like to get them done first because for the eyeshadow, they're all done, so you kind of have a framework to work with. Okay, let's get this one finished. And you don't want too much concealer above because, you know, concealer is kind of thick. So you don't want too much or else it'll get really, really clumpy. You kind of don't want that. The eyelids are a very thin part of your face, and you really don't want too much all over it because then you can really see it. Okay. I like to just draw a little bit extra on the ends because your eyebrows, I don't have hair that grows that well down there, so I just kind of taper it off a little down so that it kind of sticks out of the right at the corner of the eye. So for the most part, those look pretty even. I just like to take my concealer and kind of go straight up, brush just to give it some evenness. Okay. See how nice that looks, but it's still natural enough? I love it. Alright, so those are nice and pretty now. Now we're going to move on to the eyeshadow, figuring we already primed. Another preference, however you want to do your eyeshadow, I kind of like to take the lightest color and just do underneath the brow so that I know that there's pigment there so that I don't get in my eyebrows. So I'm actually using, this is a Japanesque, it's a Velvet Touch. I want to say they're only in Ulta's, but I haven't been in Ulta in so long because they don't have one on Island that I have no idea if they still carry Japanesque, but it's a really cool brand. It's definitely its own. The owners that have created this line haven't gotten bought out by like corporate like L'Oreal or anything. So all their packaging is actually handmade. These are all hand-blown glass. So each eyeshadow, even if you get the same color, it's going to be a little different, which is really, really special. I feel like that's a really special to make it, you know, their own. So I'm just taking the highlight and just highlighting it first, tracing where I've already been. And then I am doing, this is MAC, and this is called Kid. It's a very neutral. We're doing neutrals today. And I am just going to grab, this is my Sigma brush. It's a tapered blending brush, E40. It's good and thin enough, but at the same time it's still like really soft so you can maneuver it. So I just like to do the crease again. Get nice and even in there. I'm attempting to look down at the screen when I do this, so I'm looking at you guys, but it's still kind of weird looking at the opposite eye that I'm doing. So you just kind of blend. And of course they do have eyeshadow primers out there if you have like uneven skin tone on your eyelids. There's like neutral tones, which I've actually been really wanting to try because I feel like you could, well, you can't see it, but when I look at my eyelids, I can see a little bit of veins, and that's, I've always had my whole life. But it doesn't always make, especially because they're darker, if you want to like have an evenness of eyeshadow, it kind of throws it off just a little bit. At least because me being a perfectionist, the coloring doesn't always look the same to me with the dark veins in my eyelids. So like I said, it's a preference. But I've yet to try it, so I can't really say how well it helps out for your eyelid. And I know Urban Decay has some, but you know, everybody has some now. I know that like Smashbox does, and I want to say, I don't know if Too Faced does. Haven't really played with theirs too much. I know they have a glitter glue, which is awesome if you like glitter. Of course, who doesn't like glitter when it's a special occasion? So I'm just blending out between the highlight and the crease shadow, just so that it's an evenness. And remember, I like to taper it off a little bit so that you can get a really pretty line. I've seen some people use tape. I think that's so crazy. I mean, hey, to each his own if it works, right? Okay. I feel for the most part pretty even. So then I'm going to take more of a my E55 brush from Sigma. It's a little bit more stiff of a brush, so you kind of can use more of a tapping motion. And I'm using actually Lancome's, it's Chic Matte. So it's a little bit darker than the crease color because we are doing more of a neutral. So I like to just put that all over the base of the lid. So see, you still just get a really pretty natural color. This one's a little bit more of a cooler brown than the MAC. That was definitely more of a warm tone. I'm just kind of blending them together. Just so that it looks decent and nice and natural. Okay, so that's pretty color. Then I'm actually going to take, I have a really, which I should have pulled out. I have a really, where is my really intense neutral? Am I missing something? Oh, I think it's here. I'm pretty much almost out of it, but I've had this thing for so long. I think it's Omega. This one's pretty. It's definitely a really light neutral, and I like to just kind of stick it right in the middle of the two colors. So see how it blends them together. I think I'm due for another Omega color. So it just blends them. Then I like to take this is a larger shade, it's the E60 that we used yesterday. And just kind of blend them all together. And it kind of like dusts off the excess. So just nice and natural. Natural coloring. And see how they're like the highlight is like blended together. That's kind of what you want. Okay, so now we move on to the foundation. I'm still using the Lancome's Teint Idole 24. And yes, sis, I am doing foundation first before I do my concealer, because if you want to brighten underneath the eye area, you want the lighter color, which you want concealer to be a shade lighter than your foundation so that it brightens. It brightens you. And hopefully helps to dismiss the exhausted bagginess under your eyes, because I know you are a super mom. Super mom. Okay. Cover up that bruising. All right. So you can like really take your time. Make sure you blend everything. So far I've really liked the Sigma brushes. It's my first time owning them. I've pretty much owned MAC for, I'd say, 20 plus years. And I'm not kidding you, the MACs, I still have a lot of MAC brushes that I bought a long time ago. And as long as you maintain them and you clean them, like I said, once a month, you get a lot of use out of them. So now we're all foundationed. Make sure it's even. You definitely don't want streaks. That's not an attractive look. And we have some left, so let's just use it wherever you think you might need a little extra. And this foundation is amazing because it's totally layerable, but it does not look cakey or heavy of any sorts. So it's really, really nice. I really like it. Okay, and then remember we grab, this is our Baked Precision. It's the P89, small angled. I like just to grab the excess and just go through the eyebrows. Make sure they're nice and even. And then around the creases of stuff. Okay, now that we have the foundation on, I'm gonna do the highlight. So I'm using the Lancome Tante Miracle, and I only literally use like not like a tiny tap, because I don't want to, it goes a long way, so there's no need. So we're using our big buff brush and just doing this. So sis, this will help if you highlight your cheekbone area first and just kind of blend it all around, but you don't have to go all the way up to the eye area. My alarms are going off. Okay, there we go. So my last tutorial, I didn't put concealer on, but for sis, I'm going to show that on top of this so that you can get an idea. Don't forget the nose, in the middle of the forehead. Bounce that light off in the chin. I feel like it's gotten really bright in here. Okay. Now I am taking, this is the Lancome Macquer Complet, which is a concealer. I'm using Light Buff. It comes in a wand. I like to just put it on my hand once again so it warms up. And then you could either use this brush, or you could use the angled brush, or you can even use a concealer brush, which is kind of, you know, what you think it's meant for, but it's just a preference of how you feel. I just take a little bit on the tip, and you want to just blend it downward. See, right where the crease is, and you just kind of tap it downward and then out, so that it takes away all the darkness in that crease. And especially if you have, I have hair on my lip. Especially if you have the crease from the puffiness, you want to go down and then follow the line of the puffiness so that it takes away the shadow. It brightens it enough to where it takes away the shadow. So I know it's hard. Like I said, I don't have puffiness, but see how I have no more darkness, and over here you could at least see the darkness. So we're going to pick up this concealer and kind of just take it downward and then over. And you want to tap it because you want to tap it there. You want it to not like blend in streaks. So you can do it on the outside of the eye, but so see how there's no more darkness in there at all. So you just want to follow where you have the lines from the puffiness. You could do the inside of the eye because it just brightens up the eye area. So that's so now you don't see any darkness. So that's an easier way if you don't have the skincare regimen down yet. That would be your best bet to be able to decrease some of the puffiness. And then I like to just once again make the lines a little bit more prominent, and then tap them. Okay. Now we need to do powders. Again, you always set with powders. Now you can always use a big powder brush if you feel like it. I, on the other hand, I like to pat it because then it kind of presses it and seals it. So I'm using the Dual Finish from Lancome again, the neutral, because this is the lighter one of the two that I have, and you just kind of fade it and tap it underneath the eye area. Because then also, because concealer is a little bit more thicker than a lighter foundation, it seals it, and it could crease, so you definitely want to seal with a powder. Now I say if you're really, really dry, maybe not so much. But you definitely will see a difference if you pat it than if you use a brush. Alright, then we're doing our neutral in Dual Finish for the rest of the powder setup. There's times where I feel I want to do a little bit more natural, so I'll use a brush. But for working days, I need it to stay put all day and not have to retouch. And you don't have to with this brand. This Lancome has been amazing with their stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little bit more fun. It's still neutral or whatnot, but I'm actually using, this is the Heavy Metal glitter from Urban Decay, and it's the gold. And you definitely want to shake it to make sure. But I just like to do it on the corners, especially being new, like having just a fun little pop of color. And then I do it on the bottom corners. I mean, there's no real thumb for glitter. You could put it pretty much anywhere. You could even do an entire lid of glitter. But I'm doing the neutralness today. So just the corner. And with glitter, it doesn't have to be like perfect. It can go wherever because it picks up light in all different areas of the face. Sorry, I'm getting super close. But see how pretty that is? And of course, the more you add, the more potent it gets. Okay. So now that you have a touch of that, I like to do, if I'm not going to do like eyeliner on top, I like to do a eyeliner in the waterline. This is actually L'Estilo Waterproof from Lancome, and it's obviously black. This one's a waterproof one, so it works really, really well. I don't really hold my eyelid up. I kind of just hold it right underneath and just drag it across. And I do it a few times. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but then this one I definitely hold down so that you don't get it like everywhere. And see, just adds just a tiny bit of a touch of color so it pops the eye out. Definitely tickles at first, so you really want to get used to it because your eye will water. And then all that hard work you just did goes away. And then I like to take the corners and I kind of like to pull it out a little bit because then it gives you more of like that almond shape. Okay. Now that that's done, it's time for bronzer. So I'm actually using a Naked. It's the Flush palette from Urban Decay. I'm actually using the Native. The Native's really pretty because it's more of a lighter pink. The traditional one that they came with was like a neutral pink. So I'm going to start with the bronzer. It's kind of a lighter bronzer, so I'm using a little bit of Power Sweep. It's F6. It's a really, really tiny little white brush. So you can get more precision spot with it. So I'm just going to go like that and get it. So see how it's starting to form even though it's a lighter bronzer. This used to be a dark bronzer for me, but living in Hawaii, you get kind of dark just driving to work. I need to get my windows tinted in my car. I feel bad for my children. I keep putting it off and the sun beats right in the car. So just a nice natural tiny bit of bronzer to give you that good definition. I really like this brush because it's such precision of where you put the bronzer at that it works really, really nicely. Definitely go in the hairline. Build that shadow. So see, it's really nice and neutral and pretty. Okay. You could take whatever brush you want and just kind of draw your line. And then don't forget to take your eyeshadow brush of any sorts and pick it up and do the nose. That's only if, you want to do your nose. You don't have to. It just defines. And then I take the little brush and just kind of blend it out. See? And like I said, you can go crazy and do underneath here. Totally up to you. Now I'm going to take the blush color, and I'm using actually my MAC blush brush. And you just pick up some of the pigment, and I think this one's pretty pigmented, yeah. So I'm just kind of doing a light swoop. Like I said, I don't want too much blush, because then, you look like you're from the 80s. Which I don't mind. Love the 80s. The 80s are my favorite music. Even though I'm not going to tell you my age. No, that's a secret that'll stick with me. And then the middle is a highlight. I like to take, this is the Strobing Fan F42 from Sigma. You kind of just tap it in the middle. And then you just kind of drizzle it along your cheek. So see how it starts to fan it along your cheeks and then above your eyebrow. I like to do a lot more like tapping into the powder than rolling because then you kind of get it everywhere. See that pretty highlight? And then you take the fan brush and go right down the middle. Just kind of blend it where you need it. So now you have really pretty highlight. Nice and simple, huh? Okay, so now we're going into the lashes. Now this might be a little bit more difficult because we did not do eyeliner on top. So I'm just going to really hopefully get it as close to my lash line as I possibly can. Just so that I don't have to add a lot, like eyeliner over it, because I really don't want to. So you get them situated. I'm using a little bit more of a natural eyelash today, just to go with the natural look. Alright, so make sure you get it good on the ends, especially because that's where it's going to be sticking and you don't want it to come off. Then we have the fun part of waiting. Just waiting. This camera makes me look lighter than I am. I'll give you pictures at the end so you could really see the full. I'll try and do that on every tutorial. I did that last tutorial where I put pictures for you at the end so you could see the natural lighting and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so you want to take it like this so that you can easily just set at the lash line. Like I said, I'm kind of far away, so I can't really see how close I'm getting. Which I feel like I'm kind of far away from my eyelashes. That is an odd sounding animal outside my window. So you just kind of keep working it. And then once again you press. Then you will feel the parts that you thought were glued that aren't. And then you feel it kind of press down. So see? So we got pretty close in here. But on this side, I'm just going to add a little bit of eyeliner. But that turned out pretty well. Let's do the next one. And you want to be very careful when you pull these out because you can fully kink them. And then it doesn't look really pretty whatsoever. Okay, let's get this guy. Get a nice amount of glue on. Okay. But these are really pretty because, I mean, they're natural, but they give you really good length. I don't know if you could see. See, I hope I could get microblading to where my eyebrows look like this without having to apply. That would be amazing. This eyebrow is driving me nuts. There. There we go. More even than this one. There. Okay. Sorry, you're looking at my nose. Okay, so then you go. Ooh, that's nice and sticky. Okay. So, just like that. And then I like to go through and just tap. And then I also like take the other end and push the lashes down so I could see where they adhere to make sure that they all got to it. Okay, so then, where is my, there it is. So I just take it once more. Just go right in between. See? Now you can't really see. Nice and natural. And then today I'm using the, this is Clinique. It's the Lash Doubling Mascara. I really like it because it has a point. And the brush is really nice, so it goes on nice and even. So you can like really get in there and get all the little guys. And it actually gives you some pretty good darkness. When I wear it on my regular lashes, they get really, really long. I never thought I would really like Clinique, but I have to say this one's really nice. And it comes off pretty easily. I don't think it's the hot water removal or the warm water one. They have some that do warm water removal, but my eyes water through the day, so the warm water one probably wouldn't last too much or too long on my face. And figuring out here in Hawaii, it's super humid, especially right now with all the rain we've been getting. It's nice and sticky. So, see how pretty? You just keep going and you can layer it until you feel you've gotten enough on there. And it makes a really pretty finish. And then sometimes you get a little bit of residue. So I just take the little flathead brush and kind of just blend it off. You can take a any kind of wipe, but it's just gonna wipe the makeup off. So I like to just use what has makeup on it. And just do that so it vanishes. And to finish off, did I bring it over here? Thought I brought my lipstick over. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is actually, it's a new brand and it's kind of like a Mary Kay. It doesn't even have a name on it. I don't really remember what it's called, but it starts with an L. And it's really, really cool and pretty. So we're gonna do that. And then I'm also using the All Nighter spray from Urban Decay. I like to use it, especially out here being humid, even during the day, even though it's not nighttime, to spray it on my face. So what you do is you just do a T and then an X, so it gets all the areas of the face. So you kind of just get all the mist on, and then sometimes from that mist you do get a little bit of, so you just tap, there it goes away. Okay, so you can do a lip liner, but this is a very pretty pink, so I'm not really going to do a lip liner. I'm just going to apply it, and I always start by going down, because see, you get that, you get your lip structure, and you just follow. And once again, your lips aren't always even either, but we can make it that way. Definitely want to take your time putting lipstick on, because once it's there, it's like really hard to take off. And you just did all that work with your foundation. And if you do take your time, you don't have to do concealer. A lot of people just slap it on, then they have to take their concealer and like trace it. I don't like to do that. So see? Now I'm ready for work. But not yet. Look at this hair. This hair needs a little bit of help. So I honestly like to only wash my hair like every few days. It's actually better for your hair. So I have this little trick that I like to use. It's called baby powder. And of course, obviously, if you have like darker hair, don't use baby powder. But I just put some of it in my hand, if it's open. There we go. And I rub my hand together, and then I kind of just shake it through, and it absorbs all the oils so that you don't have to wash your hair. But I've also learned that it gives you some really good texture so that you can actually style your hair, and it looks really, really cool. So now that I've done that, I'm taking a straightener, and I'm actually going to curl my hair with it. So I'm going to scoot back for this. So what you're going to do is you take little pieces, and you want to go, so it just depends, but I'm going back, so I'm going to start here and flip it this way and just pull it back. And there you have it. So you just kind of go through their hair. I don't have that much hair, so I don't really have to pin it. I used to when I had like really, really, really long hair. But I kind of just fold it over so that you can get like the underside of it. And of course, the faster you use the straightener, the not so kinky of a curl you would get. You get more of like a natural wave. So I'm just gonna go through really quick and do this through my hair. So see, you get like a really nice natural curl. Everybody's always asking me, how did you do that with your hair? And I always say a straightener, and they're like, what? A straightener? It's like, yeah, it's amazing. So, get a nice little curl. And then you can go back, like this one. It's too curly for me on the end. So I'm just gonna go back and curl it like this, slower here, and then just kind of pull it out there. There you go. So it's more like a, and then you just work your way backwards. It's really, really simple once you get the hang of how your straightener functions, because then you just literally turn it and it gives you a curl. Now I can't see the back of my hair, so we're just kind of winging it here. Hopefully it turns out well. And then you start over on this side. And I like to go like that way. Or you can go like over your head like this and twist it. Whatever's easier for you. Or whatever you feel more comfortable with. And then of course if you have dry shampoos, I just don't have one right now, so that's why I'm using baby powder. But I know that Living Proof is the one I want to try next. I've heard amazing things about it. But also, Philosophy is coming out with a dry shampoo, and I think it's only going to be at either Nordstrom's and then Ulta's. I'm not sure if it's going to be hitting Sephora's, but I'll find out. Obviously, you could tell I love Philosophy, but it's also because I work for them. So their products have really, really proved me wrong on a lot of things. It's a very beautiful brand. Absolutely love it. And we're coming out with new stuff, so stay tuned because we will be getting. We have new fragrances and we have new skin exfoliants and masks and just renovating the line. So I'm really, really excited once I receive it to share it with you. Okay, so see how like that went from an oily hair to vavoom, right? That's all you really have to do. And then you just want to make sure you get the back of your head. You don't want all volumized hair in the front and no curls in the back. That would look really weird. You just slowly, well, I'm doing it really fast because I'm used to it, but usually you just move really slow. But I'm doing this fast because I want to drink my coffee. Okay, so let's see. So I just kind of take my fingers and dress it through. And then you kind of just see where it lands. See this guy? It's a little too kinked, so then you kind of go through and figure out what you want. And now he's team. And then this guy, I'm gonna take it. So you can see and look at where you want your curls at, where you don't. Oh, what's going on with that guy? And see, it just gives you like a really pretty volumized look without having to like really do too much. And honestly, the more product you have in your hair, which I thought was not really true, the better. You definitely want to put when your hair is wet. I always do a leave-in conditioner just to condition the hair. And then I always do, what is it? I do a leave-in and then I do an oil, which is also from Living Proof. And then I also do a styling prep, which they actually have a primer that's a styling and all-in-one. So this is what my daily life looks like when I'm getting ready for work. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you subscribe, share with your family and friends. Go like Facebook, A Love for Artistry, Instagram, A Love for Artistry. Thank you for sitting with me and getting ready. Sis, I hope this concealer situation works good for you. And have a great day, guys. Go subscribe. A Love for Artistry. Mahalo.